And here we go, we're getting into our next series, into our upper semifinals, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our Red Terran player. A Red Terran from the European region, representing the Platinum Heroes. Our only Terran left in the tournament, our non-Protoss representative. Give it up for Nicoract. And in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Bleed Esports. It is NightMare. Here we go. As we are settling into our PvT. But I say especially if you're not used to it because, fun fact, I always remember when we were casting Sparkling Tuna Cup, especially during the era of Cristiano. I say era of Cristiano, that was like 3 weeks ago. I remember we were casting Cristiano versus NightMare, and our server rules are to alternate between West and Central, right? That's our server rules for our tournament. And Cristiano was making the lobbies, and I noticed that every game he was making it on West. I was like, Papi, you know, you can play on Central, right? Like, you can play. It's okay. You can play on Central. And Cristiano refused. He said, no, I want to practice on West. Like, I want to practice with ping. And he beat NightMare, like, with ping. Like we've seen Cristiano beat NightMare time and time again with in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. Cristiano beat NightMare in the Sparkling Tuna Cup. And yeah, that's something he was preparing for. I'm pretty sure he was also doing that because of WTL. WTL, they also force West as well. Or they alternate between West and Central for the 2 games. So, yeah, it is something that you do have to get used to, though. I do understand that, 100%. And it's not the most ideal thing whenever we have these online events. I understand that. I understand. It's not ideal, not ideal. But for now, we're settling in. It is going to be an economic opener at a Nicoract going for a Rax Expand into a factory. Now settling in. And likewise, NightMare back across the map and going for his own Gate Cyber Expand. Loading into Ghost River, going for a Zealot first. Going to be disrupting the initial opener of Nicoract. And we'll be forcing a delay. Yeah, we'll delay the CCs. Zealot wreaking havoc. Stalker diving into the main already. Takes down the first Marine. Boys, they have to be pulled. Reinforcements on the way. The Cyclone is in production. And we will eventually force this back. But again, NightMare just doing so much economic damage early on. Again, the reason why you can do this is we are on Ghost River. Short rush distance by ground. It doesn't take long at all to just rally across the map, to just walk your units across and get into the bases of Nicoract as the CC is under fire. But once we get our Cyclone, we can force this back. We can shoot this away. As the Cyclone has arrived to get the lock on. And NightMare has to back off. Can we get the Stalker up? We can! Stalker goes down. We get 1. Can we get the 2nd? We can as well. Oh my god, both Stalkers fall. A nice punish here from Nicoract. Did bleed out a lot of SCVs. Did bleed out 3 SCVs and a delay on the expansion. But we did at least punish NightMare. As we back off, NightMare doubling down, going for 2 more gateways and a robo, setting up for 3 gates and working towards a prism. Yeah, being hyper aggressive. NightMare doubling down. Oh my god. I mean, NightMare is one of the more aggressive Korean Protosses out there. I mean, to say that. Classic's aggressive, Hero's aggressive as well. They're all aggressive. They're all animals, but we're just doubling down. Warping in Stalkers, going for the prism. And soon to be pushing. I need to cast more StarCraft so we can cast together. Oh, smooch. Hope you're doing well, Chicken Man. Hope you're doing well. As NightMare's rallying everything across the map. How many Stalkers do we have? We're on 5 Stalkers. Again, 3 gateways behind this to reinforce. Immortals on the way. NightMare just doubling down here on 2 bases. And what do we have to defend? Tank is still not done. Tank is on the way alongside that Banshee. NightMare warping in. There's no bunker on the low ground. Nicoract, he's not aware of how aggressive his opponent's being. Remember, Nicoract, he had no SCV scout, no Reaper scout. Nicoract, he's in the dark. And Adepts, they slip into the main. NightMare having fun here. Does slip in. We catch an SCV. Shade towards the natural. The main army does hit the natural at the same time. Multi-pronged attack. Boys being pulled away. Adepts, they do come into the shade. We got 5 SCV kills. We do have our tank. We can focus this down. In a head-on fight, I do want to favor Nicoract, especially with his tank, but... And NightMare coming in from behind at the same time. Banshee does get across the map. Probes are going down to chaos everywhere. We catch a Stalker. And we have Cloak. We do have Cloak, but the Observer's in position. The Banshee is forced back. 5 probe kills. Do you have a bit of a back and forth? At least Nicoract does get some counter damage done. So say that. Banshee does take some extra hits. You get a 7th probe across the map. We deny mining time. Second Banshee moving out. And it looks like NightMare is backing off for the time being. I say for the time being, that's 3 more gates away. 2 base all in. Straight up. 2 base all in. 6 gate charge here from NightMare. Dropping into the middle line, forcing friendly fire from the tank. NightMare, calm down. Does try to force that friendly fire. Viking has right, forcing the recall. NightMare gets the hell out of there. Is expanding. Okay. Is taking a 3rd. If we had stayed on 2 bases, again, would have been the setup for an all-in, but we are expanding. We are looking to saturate. No extra gases here at the natural. Bear that in mind. It is going to be mass charge lot. No additional tech. No Temple Archives. No Bay. No Colossus. Just more of a Swarm Toss style out of NightMare. Likewise, Nicoract is also moving out. Stim just started, so we're still a ways away for the bio to be as effective. Tanks are caught out. The first tank goes down. Massive catch here for NightMare. Brings down 1 tank and another. And soon to be another 3 tanks fall. And GG gets called. And Nicoract caught out in the center of the map. And NightMare takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. NightMare does take the first game. And now NightMare is 1 game away from making it into the grand finals. Making it into those finals. We'll see if he can. Nicoract, of course, he is our non-Protoss hope. Can we stop the PvP? I'm hoping we can, but again, NightMare is the heavy favorites coming into this. It was all about, can anyone stop NightMare? Can anyone bring him down? Is it possible? Oh boy. We are loading into game 2. Are loading into that second game. And our game of choice, our map of choice is going to be Oceanborn. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes down in the series. Luna bounce back, Luna force that ace match. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Bleed Esports, leading the series 1-0. 1 more. He'll make it to the grand finals. It is NightMare. Let's go. Practicing with things like weight training in anime. It is. Exactly. Goku confirmed. I think I remember watching a video about that, like IRL, like if you often do weight training, like it can like damage you more than anything. Like it can be effective in certain cases, but like in certain cases, I don't know. But just like the anime, it's beautiful. Do love to see it. Now we do see Nicoract setting up a bit of a cheeky proxy here towards the left-hand side. I was about to say, like, yo, are we scouting this time? Kind of. We sent out the SCV, but we are setting up a proxy outside of the main bases. Rax is done. Show us the factory. There it is. Proxy factory here from Nicoract. I'm curious if it's going to be a proxy 111 with a factory and a starport alongside it. Factory is on the way. We could even double down and go for, I was going to say a tech lab, but we're not quite in position for an add-on. So it could just be Hellions into a starport, into a Hellion drop. Just a very bold position here, right next to the natural. Out in the center of the map. Back at home, Nicoract is expanding. So Rack's factory into expand. And again, staying on one gas, so we're not going to be investing, I don't think, too heavily into something crazy like Cyclones. We'll see how this all comes together. Back at home, standard opener here out of NightMare. Oh, never mind. It is going to be Cyclone production initially. No, of course, no room for add-ons. And are we going for anything else here? I'm reminded of Dolan. I'm like brought back to... I remember Dolan, he used to have a lot of wild builds on this map. But no, straight up just singular Cyclone production here. Massing up Marines back at home. Now, Cyclones early on, they're not as strong as they once were, but we can actually overwhelm initial gateway units like a Stray Stalker and Adept. There we go, second Cyclones on the way. It's going to take a while to really get going, but it is in production. Let's go. I'm ready for it. I'll be honest, I don't think I've quite seen this kind of variation before, so I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. Nicoract does start to step forward, trying to focus on these initial gateway units. So far, good control here out of NightMare. Does pull away. Does pull away, and here we go. The Cyclones, they have arrived. They're going for the pylon. Going for the shield battery first. Shield battery is going to be focused down. Boys are being pulled. And we can... Oh, barely not get it. Yeah, barely not. Duke has 3 probes. Soon to be even more. 4 probes do go down. The main army does fall back. But here come the Marines. The Marines, they come in to reinforce. Control looking good here from NightMare. Does catch a Cyclone. Likewise, we catch a Stalker. Almost 2. 3 Stalkers still standing strong. Starport on the way, not proxied. Oh my god. Not being proxied. Initial Vax is on the way. We're settling into 2 bases, and Nicoract backs off. In the end, was this worth it? What did we really get with this? We got a handful of probes. That's true. We got 4 probes. We got a Stalker. We got an Adept. Some good damage, sure. At least we didn't lose our Cyclones. At least the Cyclones, for the most part, were preserved. Only 1 went down. The other 2 did live. As Nicoract does pull back. And is settling into his 3-1-1. Meanwhile, across the map, NightMare, what are we working with? We have 2 additional gateways on the way. 2 already done. It's 4-gate blink. Oh, lovely. It's been a chaotic, messy game, but we're getting into 4-gate blink Stalkers. NightMare is soon to move out across the map. And Nicoract is going to be in a bit of trouble. What's the most scary here about the situation is because the factory was floating, because it was out in the open, there's no tanks. There's delayed tank production here for Nicoract. And that is going to mean that these 4-gate blink Stalkers are going to be terrifying. They can get so much done once they get high ground vision. Observers on the way, and we're not ready in the main. We're not ready whatsoever. No bunker, no tank, no nothing. We have a bio army on the low ground, but we can avoid this. We can avoid the bunker. Now going for the Cyclone. Do catch 1. Cyclone gets picked off. Observer about to rock up. Nicoract does read the dive into the main. We do scan. Up the Observer. Nice catch. The Observer goes down, but we just avoid the main army. Head for the natural. The bunker falls. And we can still take a fight. Boys are being pulled. Backup bunker on the way. The Cyclone is targeted. And the control so far is looking strong here for NightMare. Taking down 6 SCVs. And the bunker, it won't finish. No. No shot. I mean, I say that, it looks like it might be able to. Even then, it's quite low. And the Stalkers, barely any have gone down. 1 Stalker has fallen. The blinks are crazy. They're out of this world. The bunker does finish. We pull the boys. We repair. We do repair. Do we have a... Ooh, we have a backup observer. We have a backup observer moving out across the map, which means, once again, we can go into the main. Now, Stim is about to finish, and with Stim completing, we can try to take a fight, but have we bled out too much? That's the problem. That's what I'm concerned about. Have we lost too much already? We dive into the main. Grab Stim. Would you punish this? 2, 3 Stalkers going down. Very nicely done. And Stim is a really crucial power spike here for Nicoract. And with his heavy Marauder count, can take a fight here, but we avoid the main army. We go for the factory. Factory goes down. And we recall back home. We go for the recall. Meanwhile, back at home, NightMare has expanded, taken a 3rd base. Working up towards Colossus. Charge. 1-1. Double Forge upgrades on the way. NightMare settling into the mid game. And Nicoract bled out so many SCVs. We're still not saturated on 2 bases. We're down to 36 workers. We're stimming across the map, but we're pushing into a shield battery into an overcharge. We've yet to use it, yet to spend it. Force fields are looking good. Yeah, NightMare holds. NightMare does hold on. And now we're going for a counterattack. The medevac! No! Oh, medevac is sniped. And we're going to chase down what little is left here. Reinforcements have arrived. Nicoract can't hold his ground. Can hold on. NightMare pulling back. Does pull back to the safety of his 3rd base. Likewise, Nicoract is expanding, taking his own 3rd. Not doubling down into a 2-base all-in, but Nicoract, he's down 20 workers. We have some catching up to do. Do have some catching up to do here. This game does settle down. We have a Ghost Academy on the way. Meanwhile, NightMare is building up towards 2, now a 3rd Colossus in production. Now, when it comes to Nicoract's position here, and trying to macro out of this, there is an opportunity, there is a chance, especially if we're active on the map. Really what we're reliant on is to try to pick away at the fringe bases of NightMare, pick off a couple of workers, deny a base, catch some stray units. In a head-on fight, I have to favor NightMare. With 3 Colossus, it's going to be difficult to really break that. But if we can avoid a main fight, if we can hit elsewhere, then we can recover. The onus is on Nicoract, though, to make that happen. As NightMare is pushing. Oof. He's moving out with his main army. Zell's coming in to reinforce, or even hit the natural. Have a good amount of fire, but NightMare does push in, and Nicoract out of position. Out of position. We hit the 3rd base. The Observer told all. And the Observer paying off here for NightMare, just telling me exactly where the army was. We annihilate the bio. We're getting on top of the Marauders. GG. And NightMare will take the series at 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Smooch. GG, well played. I'm hoping that NightMare doesn't do that. Nicoract, he was just asking NightMare not to DM him, not to PM him GG afterwards. After win. But GG, well played. NightMare does take it in the end, does advance on to the grand finals. And with that, we have not been able to avoid the PvP. We've not been able to avoid it.